All right, it's a pleasure once again to be here among MSU faculty and to have the opportunity to speak to you about generative AI, Sentiint AI, the piece that we've built out. Once again, it's truly a pleasure, and we pride ourselves on building these applications for educators, built by educators for educators, with educators in mind. We have some teachers accounts that we're going to set up for each and every one of you individually. We'll schedule times with you individually to help you walk through. Once again, it's pretty straightforward, but once again, we'll have a time for you available that we can just get on Teams real quick and just walk you through, just setting it up and kind of other pieces once we go through this initial introduction of how our UI works, our user interface. Before we get started, any questions that are kind of that you have? Dorothy, Deborah, Alex, Lucia, Bethany? Questions or concerns?
No questions yet from me.
Okay.
Good to go.
All right. So basically, this is the app here. So we're going to go through what we're going to walk through. We're going to basically do a brief introduction on kind of what it looks like and kind of how it works. I've been spending about a year now working with educators, working with me and my dev, building everything out. And once again, we're trying to build it in the niche environment of education, not just K-12, but also higher ed, of course, me being in Metro. So Sentiint AI basics. We're going to go through introduction. We're going to look at the customized bots, kind of how you would integrate that directly into your Canvas course. We're going to talk briefly about academic integrity, which I think is the huge piece that AI will totally transform our institution with. It's going to be pretty the capabilities that are coming down the pipe, the ability for us professors to determine that our students actually wrote the paper, our student actually understands what they wrote in that paper, that they actually gain the knowledge of the course objectives or module objectives that we try to ensure that they had while we're teaching. Those are really the big pieces that AI is totally going to transform. And those are pieces that we at Sentiint are actively trying to ensure that we're mitigating the plagiarisms and the workarounds that many students will attempt. So we'll talk about that. And then finally, we'll go through some closing remarks, and I'll get to see what concerns or questions that you might have about using AI in general or using Sentiint AI with your students. And I'll talk about my experiences for my students. I'll talk about other experiences I've had from other teachers, either at other universities as well as K through 12. Okay, let me minimize this real quick. So this is Sentiint. So what's going to happen is, not long after this call, you'll get an email saying, here's your username and password, and you just go there and you're going to log in here. And there will be some videos along that you're going to get a nice little onboarding video. You're going to get some pieces that are going to, tell you basically go here, type in your piece, and then videos on basically the basic UI. So from here, you're going to go to university, and you're going to see this right here. We started building out some very small applications or functionalities with these little buttons here. So you can create a marking rubric that you possibly would want. This can be used in conjunction with other things, meaning you can create an assignment, you can use that marking rubric, and it will actually grade your student's paper off of that. You have the ability, once that happens, to go through and edit or modify the grade that the AI might generate. But again, it's there for you. We have something called a prompt generator. Due to a lot of faculty are fairly new to using AI, ChatGPT, Claude, Mixtral, Gemini, Llama, we found that we wanted to assist professors and K through 12 with understanding how to build their own prompt. And a prompt is just basically something that you're telling the chatbot or other functionalities to do. So we have a prompt generator. So if I just click on this right here, I can create a prompt, and that's what that is. Many functionalities. Summarizer. So again, you can turn around, and if I just summarize here, I can come here, I can put in 10,000 words in here, and I can say, summarize this for me. A nice little bit functionality here that we kind of broke out from the main functionalities if you've used ChatGPT. But this is something that some professors in K through 12 kind of wanted to have. And from there, you can further go down and keep on generating. We also went through and created a meeting outliner and a lesson planner, right? You have the option to go into all of these and tinker around and to see everything that you would want. So this is the main screen. Again, all I did was just log in. When you initially log in, you're going to see this screen that looks like this. You click on university, and then you have all of these little buttons right here you can click on and tinker with. The main thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to come into the teacher's assistant. And then once you click on the teacher's assistant, this is where you're going to create your class. So as an example, I'm teaching a class. So I'll name my class CYDM 5244. Just happens to be one of my classes. So I'd come in here and I just create a class. I create my class. It goes and my class is now created. So within there, it pops up right here at the top, right? And I have this room ID, right? Just pops up and I can just click on that right there. And it takes me into all of these kind of workflows and niche functionalities that would go along with that class. I can create an assignment that I'll show you shortly. I can create a basic chatbot. I can create a highly customized chatbot. I'm going to talk about all of these, but first things first, I'm going to go through and walk you through the basics of what all these are. I can create a test prep bot. Test prep bot is one of the main ones that I find most professors have used. That or the general GPT bot. The reason why we built this one was because basically what you can do, you can go into Canvas, and I'm going to demo this. You can print out one of your exams that you have in Canvas as a PDF. You just go in there. I'll show you how to do that in PDF. You upload it into here, and then it's going to generate basically a study guide from it. Generates a study guide from it. You can go in and modify or add to that study guide. And then you say go, and it creates a test prep bot for your students. So it's kind of like a study guide for your students that will be created from your existing questions that you would have, either quizzes or exams. So this is pretty much one of the main uses I've seen students use, to be fair, most AI right now. You can create assignments from lecture notes. You can come into this one right here. You can click on this, and I'll walk through this here shortly. You can come in here and you can create from a previous assignment that you had. You come in here and create lecture notes from that, or PowerPoint slides, something like that. You can look at how your students have done it. This right here, in general, we haven't used this too much because basically we've been embedding the bots in the course, and your students are just working out of that bot. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. You can create even further customized. You can view the customized bots you've looked at. You can view the general bots you've created. You can view the test prep bots and how the students responded to those things. And you can view the assignment you created. So these right down here are kind of all of the bots, an overview, so you can look at all your bots. Let's start back at the top here. Okay, so the first thing, the way that most faculty use this is they go in and they create a general GPT, which is different from a customized GPT. It just takes longer. So if I come right here and I click here, it pops up here. So let's say I'm going to go into my Canvas course right here. Here's my Canvas course. This is module 1, right? That would we do this week. I could go into my overview of this particular course, right? Something I've already typed out. I could come in here. I can highlight all of this, right? Copy, right? Pretty straightforward. Come back here to Sentiint, and I will call this module 1, right? Chatbot, right? I'm going to grab that text, right, for my students. So not only will the bot have the capability to discuss everything that I copied in here, but it will also have the capabilities of OpenAI and the full functionalities and the ability to talk about incident readiness, threat landscape, remote triage, incident response, application called Q Radar. Whatever you would paste in there about that particular module, OpenAI already does a really good job of chatting about that, and this chatbot would also have that. But I could also go in here to build the text, and I could say, hey, I'm going to hit return a little bit. You are a module overview chatbot. Assist students with understanding the material below. And I can type and type and type and type and type to be more specific. Does that make sense about that particular module? I could go back to, if I wanted to, I could go back to the module. I could come out of here, go back here one. I could go into the readings, look into the readings. Okay, I also have these pieces in here. I could go in here and copy this into here, right? From the readings. Does that make sense? And I could paste that in there, which would give it more content and context as to what it should be, how it should work, right? I'll come down here. Whatever you would put in here to be more detailed to assist your students with basically being able to discuss something that you discussed during that class. Does that make sense? No? Making sense, Alex, Deborah, Lucia?
Yep. Yep.
Tracking along.
Okay. So you can upload a picture if you want, right? For your students to see. But I would say welcome. You can say your welcome greeting for your students. This is what this is. Welcome to Module 1. Let's chat. Whatever you'd want to put for your students. Make sense?
It does. Shane, so I got a question real fast. So in
Yes.
the context of the bot build text, we know that like containment, incident removal, these will have contexts that are specific to the course that our faculty members are working on or that we're teaching. How do we prompt this? Because as we know, Gen AI will do its own thing, interpret it in its own way. Is there recommendations or a way of structuring the information here to keep it confined to the definitions and kind of the use of lexicon that we're looking for?
Yes, you could come in here and you could grab whatever content you want. So I could say, I could go into, as an example, maybe to be more specific, let me go into the syllabus, right? This is my syllabus. This is the course description that I have in my syllabus. Does that make sense? So this should get more and more detailed as to what I want. But you could also, to be fair, we could also grab this text, go into a bot, the prompt generator. Remember the prompt generator I showed you before? I could grab this information, say create a really good prompt about this incident response course. Here's the course description. Here's the book. Here's this. Create that for me. Does that make sense? It then goes through and generates that for you, and you can paste it into here, right? We're going to add in the ability for that prompt generator to come in right under here. Does that make sense? But this can be
totally.
as detailed or as not detailed as you would want. So realistically, to make sure the content and context might be, I say you are a incident response. Right? And as much detail as you want to add to this, it's going to be that much better. Does that make sense? But
Yep.
that prompt generator on the previous page is there for this kind of nuanced content and context kind of thing.
Perfect. Is there any character or text limit to the bot build text?
There is. I'm pretty sure it's 2,000 words. But we can increase it.
Plenty.
Yeah,
Plenty.
we can increase it and increase it and increase it. In general, this is one of the places where I've often had professors ask, can I just create one bot? Right? Meaning I want to grab all the information about my course and I want to just dump it in one place. And then I just have that one bot for my entire course. Does that make sense? So the issue, so for me personally, I find it to be more effective to kind of do it module by module by module by module. Does that make sense? because you get more content and context associated with that particular material due to the readings, due to the PowerPoint slides, due to whatever you crafted into that first lecture that you're doing. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And then right here, right, bot description. I'm going to paste this in, module 1 chatbot, right? And remember, this is for my 5244 class, right? So I can only look for this in my 5244 class. I teach 5 classes, so therefore I'd have to do it for another class and another class, and create another class, then create another bot in that class. Does that make sense? Okay. So bot category, I can create a category, right? I'm right there, and I will just click create. And boom, I have a new bot. There it is, right? I can now, as an example, I can click on this bot, right? And I can start chatting with it about whatever. But what I'm also saying I can do is I can come back here to my course, and this is where we can do one-on-ones. Once again, once we send you the information for your login, if you're a little worried about how to do this, coming back to my course, right? I'm in my course right here. I'm going to scroll down. Here's module 1, right? This is where I just was at here, right? I could then come here. I could say create page, right? Call this module 1 bot, right? I hit add item, populates right here. Click into it. I can then edit, right? I'm in here now. If I go back to Sentiint, right here, I click on this right here, this little greater than, less than sign. I could then copy it, click this little copy button right here, copy, right? Checkbox is there. Go back over to my piece here, go to insert, insert, embed, and I paste the code. And I hit submit. And then I hit save and publish. Go back to my modules. Click on it. This is the student. And tell me about, I don't know, QRadar. Tell me about runbooks. Tell me about data logs. And the conversation starts off. Does that make sense? Same thing with syllabus. Oftentimes first week of class, students are oftentimes like, hey, what is this? What is this? Can you tell me this? I'm like, hey, go to the syllabus bot. Let's do this as a class here. Let's click on it, log in there. Everybody ask the syllabus bot a question, right? That's all right there. All I did was copy in my syllabus into this. Does that make sense, everybody? So this is just a basic bot. We're going to have voice coming out in this in about 3 weeks. You'll have voice. So there's no longer need to actually to type everything in. Yes, Bethany.
Thanks. Just quickly, like it's only pulling then from your syllabus, or it's also pulling from everything that it has available? Like, is there a way to make it so it's just about my class, or would that not matter?
So if I'm understanding correctly, what you can do is, so it has you can put a prompt in there that says, do not discuss more than what's in this particular overview or module. Does that make sense? What I pasted in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can do that.
Right, because
the
I'm
other-
thinking about it for the syllabus portion. I would only want it to answer questions about my syllabus.
Absolutely. It only answers question about your syllabus.
Right. Okay.
So,
That's
so
so you
when
can limit it.
yeah. So when it goes through, it'll come back with a piece which basically says, this information you requested is not in the syllabus. Please contact the professor for this question. Does that make sense?
Cool.
So
Yes, thank
those
you.
are the kind of things that are there for the syllabus. But as far as like, let's see, run books. Run books is something, I'm IT, right? I work in the computer information systems department. So let's say run books. Well, run books in context of incident response, right, which was in the module which was in the text I put in, it has the capability to go out to the capabilities of ChatGPT and pull in all the information about run books and cloud and incident response and strategies, and it has that capability in there. Does that make sense? But for the syllabus, it only says, hey, this, I didn't find what you're looking for in the syllabus. All right. Make sense? So this is so to be fair, let me go back to modules. The main use that I've seen most professors use this for is what I just showed you, is for basically some topic. I've also seen it used for a particular assignment that I might give to my students, right? That's another piece where if it's a difficult topic, as an example, is in a different class. I have another class here. Let me go into different class and I can show you. Bear with me here. So we have this an application within IT called here, called InMap. So this right here, this particular application that we're using in here is kind of complex, and it has a lot of little, I don't know, we call them flags of how it's used. So within this one, I would create a chat bot that my students can actually use a bot for specifically InMap, because there's so much little, I don't know, nuances or functionalities that might be hard for them to grasp. So this is another main reason, another main way that I've seen professors use the chatbots, is just grabbing some specific topic that's kind of more difficult for students to grasp because there's just so much material in it. And then I would create a bot specifically for this specific application, right? So that's another main way I've seen a lot of professors use it. So once again, they use it for the module, they use it for a specific topic or article, let's say, or the main reason I've seen professors use it is, if I scroll down some more, they use it for exams and tests. So it can act as a great study guide. Yes, Lucia.
Sorry, I don't know if this question is me being a little bit ahead. Can we also create a bot about a video? Let's suppose that I have a video that explains to my students how to calculate nutrition, parental nutrition. Can I put the link of the video and then this AI is going to give them some answers, and unless I didn't understand anything about the video?
So yes, so we have that one coming out. So the issue, there's a couple of things that come into play. So YouTube, if I go to YouTube right now, YouTube has normally a transcript. So we created a bot. We haven't exposed it to you guys, but we can turn it on. But what that can do is that goes out and that grabs the transcript from the YouTube video, and it basically gets dropped into, let me show you guys real quick. If I go back into here real quick, back into here, and it basically grabs that transcript and drops it into here. Does that make sense? So YouTube, we have that functionality built in, and we can turn that on for you. The issue that we have currently with, we can turn this on for you, but there's a little bit of a caveat. If it's an hour-long video, it has to go through the hour-long video, get the MP3 of the actual audio from that, and then it grabs that and translates it into text, basically, right? Speech to text. And then from there, it then drops it into the video. So one of the things that's going to happen when you have your own personal recording without a transcript attached to it is you have to upload the video. Our application then grabs that MP4 file or that .mov file. It grabs it, creates the transcript of it, and then basically the short answer drops the text into here, and students can chat about it. Did that answer your question? So we have that. We just didn't turn it on for you guys.
Yeah. No, yeah. Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Alex.
I'm curious. This is going to be way too in the weeds, but for this functionality, is there a special agreement with YouTube? Because I know that if we pull transcripts from a YouTube video, it's a violation of terms of service. So is there something that we have that's covered through this?
Yes, we have a developer pack that's associated with most of the YouTube videos out there that the transcript is available. This is using their API.
Perfect.
Does that make
Excellent.
sense?
Yep. And if it's not allowed, the system will simply say, no, you can't have it.
No, you can't have that transcript.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
So again, there's all of these one-offs that happen when you start really starting to look at how we can use AI with the current use cases that we have as the teachers or professors, right? So that is one chatbot as an example. This one right here is a much more customized chatbot. So this is a much more personal. This can be much more of it's going to have a personality. It's going to have personality traits. It's going to have interests and hobbies. It's going to have values and beliefs. You can type into this bot. It has goals, aspirations, and achievements. So this bot tries to become much, much more of a human bot associating with your students. We found this more necessary when working with K through 12 students because we found that depending on whether we're working with special ed students or we're working with other students, we needed to kind of make the bot more human-like than Siri and Alexa-like in their response. Does that kind of make sense, everybody? So this is a bot. You can also, we've used this bot for interviewer. So we created a interview bot, and we made the interviewer very strict, very non-personable, we needed to be very on task, right? This is where we created that type of bot. We needed another bot to be very empathetic. So we had a math bot in a K through 12 environment that has the voice of a grandma, right? It sounds like a grandma that's helping the person with math. Therefore, we made it very personable and very empathetic and very supportive and very encouraging for the students. And we can even associate culture into there, right? You can associate different cultures into there, right? Trying to put in cultural traits into the bot, right? Therefore, when the bot is talking, we have one bot that's a grandma that talks with a Spanish accent, right? And is helping the students with math. Well, we found that the teacher found that those students really liked working through math problems with this type of bot versus this more Alexa, Siri type of bot that was helping them, right? And being very kind of sterile. But this is where you can build another type of bot. Does that make sense, everybody? Hopefully. Test prep bot, right? So this is one that I found where most of the ways that professors are using the bot, they're mostly using it with a test prep bot or the general bot, to be fair. Create assignments is another thing, which we'll talk about shortly. So I will do this right now. So right here, I have this right here. I would go into my create a test prep bot. This is like a study guide bot for my students. So if I come right here, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to this test right here, right, from one of my courses. I'm going to go into preview. Yes. I'm going to go to file, export as PDF. I'm going to call this transform AI. Make sure it goes into my downloads folder. I'm going to hit save. Yes. I go to my Finder here for you guys to see. I'm on it back. So then I go back to the Sentiint AI, and I'm going to grab my quiz that I just downloaded. Go to my downloads folder. There it is right there. I'm going to click upload. All right. So our application will go through, scrape through all those questions. I could also have just said show the actual answers too. To be fair, I probably would have done that too, in case the AI would have said, no, this is more accurate than this one. Next, I come here. I can create generate right here. It goes through all of my exam there and starts creating basically a study guide. Without the questions. Does that make sense? If you want, I can go back and forth so you can see it did not grab the question. Even when the student goes through, so going through, it's creating that, right? Even student goes through and says, what are the questions? The questions are no longer, we threw the questions out. As soon as this is generate, the questions no longer exist. Does that make sense? I could come into here right here, and I could say, I could want to edit this. Does that make sense? I come in here and try and get in here and start trying to tinker with this right here, edit, and add in some more stuff here. PTP. Right? I can add in, I can say, oh, I don't like this part, right? Make sense? Bethany, Alex, Lucia?
So far, so
Or-
good.
Okay.
Yes.
I can
Good,
call
following
this
along.
test prep / study guide, right? Hello. Yeah. Here's title. Duration, right? Because oftentimes students often say, how long is the exam, right? Say, did you ask the chatbot, right? What day is the exam? Oh, it's the 23rd, and the end time is the 25th. Make sense? Pretty straightforward. I can then create that bot. It is now created. Same thing again, right? I come into here. I come into here. I come into here, copy. Come back over to here. Right, I'm going to go back to, I believe. There it is. It's this one right here. Again, I come into here. I go to page, and once again, we'll do individual helping. We'll call this test prep. Because the students can literally go in and say, show me, give me the study guide. Does that make sense? So therefore, they can just go in there and grab that, copy that out. All right. I then go into here. I click on this here. I then go into edit. I then go into insert, embed. There's my embed code, paste, submit. I then hit save and publish. Then can go back to my modules. And then scroll down. I believe it was way down here. There's the bot for that one. Does that make sense? And the students now have a nice study guide test prep bot. And you basically, only thing we had to do was print out our tests, right? Upload it in there, edit it, modify it, you know, make sure it's accurate, and then paste it into our thing. And now our students have a nice little study guide.
Quick question.
Yes.
So when I create my test, I always put the feedback for the students to see the reason why the answer that they selected is incorrect, or why the correct answer is the correct one. Do you do the same thing, and that's why the chatbot knows exactly
So
the study guide and everything?
kind of, sort of. So if you were to grab, well, I guess I could do it too, but I don't think we have time. But I could go through and grab questions directly out of my exams. I could then go to OpenAI, and I could paste my question in there with the multiple choice answers, and I could say which is the correct answer, which is what some students, to be fair, are doing, right, when open book exam. And it's going to give you the correct answer. So that capability is built into this. So it can actually do that for you. It can grab a lot of that. The issue becomes, oftentimes it's a 49, 51. There's a question in there that's kind of close, right? And some students will say, hey, why isn't it this one, right? That's why I normally would have added in my answers into that PDF. Does that make sense? I wouldn't have just grabbed I wouldn't let the AI determine of the multiple choice which one is the correct one. Because I really want the AI, when it creates that study guide, to say, it's this one, and here's the reason why. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
So kind of a twofold answer. Hopefully I addressed that for you.
You did, yeah.
Okay, so that's the main ways I've seen professors and teachers use the bot, right? And particular assignment. So number one, they use it for an assignment that might be more difficult. We have a voice piece coming out that we're going to push to higher ed, so your students could just chat with the bot. The beautiful thing about the chat is when your students driving to class and you're going to cover, they want to cover what we're going to be talking about during class, the student can have a whole conversation with the bot on the way to class. Therefore, they're hitting the class not cold, right? They're hitting the class actually having reviewed some of the information, or at least discussed some of the information with the bot, right? So that's a huge, huge plus, I believe, for educators, because it kind of puts the onus of education and the students gaining more education on them, because the tool's right there in front of you. All you do is log in. There's a bot waiting there to talk to you about everything. That's an assignment or an overview of a chapter. The second one, again, is just a general chatbot for the module that the students can use. And the third one, syllabi or whatever, an article or whatever you want them to know about, create a chatbot for that. That's the second way it's used. And then the third one, of course, is a test prep study guide bot, right? Which you can also ask students. So we also have the capability, right? As the professor, we have the capability to come in and you will be able to, so let me go show you what this looks like on a bot that students have actually used. So bear with me here. I think I will go to this one. No, I think I'll go to the 3500 course. I'm going to here. So this is a new functionality that we have, well, relatively new. It's a couple months old. So I will go into this one, right? I can come into here. Oh, bear with me here. Might be in a different course. Went through and removed a lot of these. Okay, I'll use this one. I can come into here. Actually, but so this one just came out. I just worked with some students on this one. And basically I can come here and I click on this and I click on all conversations, and I can see conversations that students would have with the bot. Does that make sense? We have a whole dashboard coming out in a couple of months for professors for each and every bot that they submit. They will have the capabilities. It's anonymous, so we can't see which student did this. There's a level of anonymity. There's no PII gathered. We're not training on the data. We're not capturing the data. We don't know who submitted what. It's going through these very powerful LLMs out there, but it's totally anonymous as far as there's no IP address, there's no logging of the information. The only thing that's captured is the question. That's it. So right here, you can go through, and with a dashboard in the future, with each bot you can create, you can go through and you can better assist us with understanding what the students didn't grasp with that information that we submitted. Does that make sense? So module by module, you'll be able to see in your dashboard possibly something you might need to spend more time on, because there's a lot of questions about that. Does that make sense? I also had a student say, tell me the answers, right? Make sense? It doesn't keep the answers at all. All right. Okay. Are you feeling fairly comfortable, Dorothy, with the material?
Starting to.
Starting to? Okay. Bethany, you? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Shane, I noticed that I may have missed it, but so if I wanted to do like an analysis of the questions that are being asked, I would be able to export, I hope, a list of those questions, or would I just copy and paste? It would just be,
No,
if
no,
there's some themes in terms of, okay.
No, we definitely have. We haven't turned it on for you guys, but there's a dashboard
Okay.
associated with your user account. By the way, your user account is going to be like, let's use Deborah. Deborah might be Astral Projector 486, right? So she would just log into her account on Sentiint with Astral Projector as the username 486, because again, anonymous. We don't keep information. And she logs in and she would see a dashboard that's going to be able to see, we haven't turned it on, but we will turn it on, that will be able to help each and every professor be able to look at their chatbots and the questions that are being asked. And of course, they can then go out and export that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, let's chat about academic integrity and the problem that AI can just bring to the equation. I don't know how many of you are using ChatGPT, so let me just give you. We have so many applications coming out too in the next couple of weeks for students, by the way. We really focused on professors initially, but I really want to kind of let you kind of see those of you that don't know. So let me go back to here. I'm going to go to dashboard. I'm going to go to one of my classes this semester. Let me go to a different one. So this is the problem, and this is the reason why we have to start using AI to assist us with academic integrity, to ensure our students are doing the assignment themselves, right? So let me just show you real quick. I have a module here. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to go to one of my assignments here. So here's all my overviews, right? Here's my readings, right? Here's a hands-on assignment. Here's a LinkedIn submission, right? And then I have this case study, right? Then I'm like, hey, you guys got to turn this in, right? And I say, right? Just copying out whatever I wanted it to be, right? Copy, right? Here's my syllabus. I could say create a, I don't know, 4-page, 5-page paper, whatever the professor said. on whatever the topic is. And I could paste in example that the professor did. I could go back in. Sorry. I could paste in the syllabus, the rubric. I'm sorry, the rubric. Sorry, bear with me here. Paper on, I don't know, we'll say cybersecurity. Here are some examples. Right? Down here I say here is the rubric, right? For the paper above, for the above. There's my rubric. It rewrites it. Add more detail, I can type in. Put in 3 paragraphs, introductory paragraphs. Make it MLA. Make it da-da-da-da. Take out this, add this. Paper's written based on my rubric, based on my assignment. Does that make sense? Well, that's not learning. Absolutely not, right? That's a problem now, right? Right? Make it a, I don't know, sophomore university level paper, more academic. Create more bullet points. Expand upon vendor relations. What do you think, Deborah? What do you think, Lucia?
It's very scary for me, especially because I don't know how I'm going to be able to recognize that it came from AI instead of from my student brain. Do we have anything like Turnitin.com or a way to see that it was plagiarism? It's not specific. It's not exactly plagiarism, but it's cheating.
I agree. So let's talk about some mitigations. Everybody can see how easy that is, right? That's not hard to do, right? Throw in more bullet points. You know what I mean? There's they have Search GPT that OpenAI just came out with. Go find references. Throw in the references that are out there. Right? I don't even know what's in this papers, to be honest. I don't even know, right? So mitigations, because this is the news, like the modern day calculator, right? For everything, literally. Right? So let's talk about mitigations, right? So we're going to go back to Sentiint AI. We haven't turned this on for you, but there is a plagiarism detector. It'll go out and determine how much of this was written by AI. We will turn this on for you. Just so far, professors haven't been, this hasn't been the topic yet, right? We've been trying to work with just basic ChatGPTs and stuff like that. Okay, so right here, we have something called a create assignment bot, and we also have something coming out, which is the follow-up bot, right? Literally by Friday of next week, the follow-up bot will be out, and I will send you guys a video on how to use it, but it works very, very similar to what you see with all the rest of our bots. But let's take a quick look at create assignment bot. What create assignment bot does is you go through, you create an assignment, basically a paper, right? So what I just did, right? What I just, this, right? This is my assignment, right? Go through and I grab this here, right? I push this in here. I paste my rubric in there. I put in the amount of students. Yes, I put in my amount of students. And then right here, it says follow-up questions, right? So I could say I want 10 follow-up questions, right? So I go through, I type in the name of that assignment that I just showed you. It's real or fictitious systems project, right? Copy, paste, right? And then the score, number of students, and then I say duration of the follow-up questions per question. I'm going to say I give them 1 minute. I paste in my rubric. I do the starting grade. Some of you might have a grading piece, final score, and then I can upload the actual, this assignment right here, upload this page right here, right, to further assist the AI. Sorry. Right. What this is, and the due date, right? What this will do is once the student goes through, they upload it. They remember to go back into Canvas. They then upload their assignment into the little, it's going to create the little embedding piece that I showed you before. It will immediately pop up and it'll say, okay, are you ready to do the follow-up questions? And the follow-up questions are asking them about the assignment that they turned on based upon the rubric. If they click outside the screen, right? So if they're here on the follow-up bot, if they click outside the screen like this, it automatically stops the exam, the follow-up question, basically chat, and grades them right there on that. It's also going to grade their assignment, and it's also going to tell you, provide feedback for their assignment based on the rubric you submitted, and you can go through and edit that. Does that make sense? Yes, Alex.
So of course, students typically have their phone in one hand and the computer in the other. This wouldn't guard against anything like that. This is just a, for those who are more honest or less savvy, this would be a really good indicator, but it's not something we should be like, oh, 100% this is going to catch it every time.
Nothing is, nothing. This is a mitigation. So we have 2 mitigations, which is more than ProctorU, right? So the first mitigation is we have the ability to do plagiarism on the actual paper. That's the first mitigation. The second mitigation is they would have to have their phone in the things. And if you set it for 30 seconds, they would have to click on it, have OpenAI read the OCR text, read the text on the page, reply back to them on their phone, and then they would have to be looking at their phone and typing very quickly. It's possible, but it's just another mitigation, right? We could also do this during class in person. Does that make sense? That's another thing. If you have an in-class assignment, hands-on assignment, and students are doing it, you can just watch the students as they do this in-class assignment. But again, nothing is for every, I don't know, rook to king 4, there's always a queen to knight.
And
Okay.
we are the one who create the follow-up questions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can go in there and edit those follow-up questions based on the rubric.
And it will come at these prompt or this scenario will go with every single one that submit assignments, not only the ones that use AI. So everyone is going to do the follow-up questions.
Yes, however you would want to do that. Again, we're going to have some time for one-on-ones for each and every one of you to just come in and be like, hey, Jackson, let's do the create assignment piece, right? Let's sit down. Let's do a Teams, and it's just a Teams meeting, to be fair. And we're just going to sit through and we're going to walk through and we're going to discuss options that you can do in ways that I've seen other teachers or professors use that functionality. Does that make sense? Yes, Alex.
So for our instructors who are looking to use AI as a part of their process, I want to point out that this flow would be really good to ask students about. Okay, hey, you used generative AI as a part of your project. Right now, I want you to reflect on how did you change what it developed and those kind of things. So these kind of reflection points would be really valuable, not only for detecting potentially, but also for coaching and guiding students to think beyond what AI has generated for them. So I'm just saying that because I know that a lot of our faculty members are beginning to embrace the AI, and this allows for a good check and balance there.
Absolutely. We're actually building the next major app we're building is two major apps. One is called AI Researcher, and what AI Researcher does, actually, let me I will open a different tab and I'll show you AI Researchers, because now we're getting into our students using it, right? Because we tended to focus mainly on getting these tools ready for educators. So bear with me. We have an AI Researcher one that's coming out for our students, and we have, make sure this is the correct one. Nope. Bear with me here. AI Researcher. All right. So with AI Researcher, download this. We're still working on the images generation, but basically it's just a prompt. So our students will be able to go in there, and with AI Researcher, they want to research a topic, and it goes through and it generates. Don't know if I can pull this over. Bear with me here. Bam, and one more. All right. So this is AI Researcher. And so the student basically writes a prompt in, and it will start generating information with images, with articles, with text, and with references at the very bottom. It didn't pull in everything. And with links going out to the internet showing you everything that is in there, right? We also have a student learner module. The student learner module is even in learner application is incredibly much more better. It'll create not just a discussion, but the students can do a summary with the topics. It'll do a mind map with the topics. The students can do a Q&A with the actual whatever they're learning. This is, I don't know what this paper is about. This paper is about cybersecurity and modern infrastructure. They can create a mind map, a discussion, a summary, bullet points, a Q&A as far as generating questions and answers. It will anything, pretty much everything we could think of, and we had 10 students talk to us about what would you want to learn about the topic and what do we need to add into this, and we had 10 different students telling us, and we started adding in that functionality. So it's called a student learner app, and that'll be out within a month, and the students will be able to chat and think and mind map voice-wise and everything else with any topic. And as well, it'll go through the internet and find articles that are out there or videos, and then put those as links that the students can go to for references. Does that make sense? So now we have our students' ability to go through and start learning using AI to actually benefit from the rest of the actual material that is out there. Jennifer, is this making sense for you?
Yep, I think so. I think it'll be easier once I do it.
Okay. So again, we have more functionalities I can go through with you. There's so much here available. We have this one right here, which is also pretty incredible. I'm not going to really show it to you that much because my mic drops out. But basically, this other pieces that we have, I can actually turn this on and it will recognize the sentiment of my voice that's coming out. It'll monitor my face to see if I'm happy, sad, or whatever. These are some of the functionalities that we have for our K through 12 students who might be going through something or having issues or being bored with the assignment, and it will detect the face, right? We didn't sign up Metro for this due to we have to go through certain FERPA and everything else forms, but it'll detect how the student's feeling, bored or whatever, and then it'll start joking with them. Does that make sense? About the actual content and context. Does that make sense? No? Lucia, Dorothy? Alex?
I'm just imagining like being a teenager, very sad and boring doing the assignment and then having fun thanks to the jokes.
Yes. Yes, the jokes are very, I mean, they're very why did the chicken, cross the road jokes. But at the same time, it's better than maybe what they're learning, right? It's trying to take them out of whatever they're going through or whatever they're trying to learn and, take them out of there real quick. You know what I mean? We're going to have some games, some little like Mario Kart games that we built that our students can then go play the game for a little bit and say, okay, let's get back to the assignment, right? Trying to keep that attention and trying to get our students to love learning, right? This is all functionality that we're building. Yes.
It's just brilliant.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Again, I'm an educator. My father was an educator. My wife's an educator. My daughter's an educator. People that have helped assisted me with building this, the people that we're getting input from are educators. So we're building this for us. We're building this by us. We're trying to see what is the best way to get that student excited for learning and for place it in their hands with all the latest technology, right? That we can possibly dream of or imagine. All right. Well, it looks like we're pretty close to the end of time here. And I need to make sure I have everybody's name so I can email you your user account. And again, it's going to be some anonymous account. So again, Alex might be Gardner, Rose Gardner 864, right? Dorothy might be Butterfly 68784, right? It's anonymous accounts, but you're going to get that with a username. And then, of course, you can schedule time with me and we will just get that time and you'll get this email that's going to come out to you. And we will get you an account and you can log in and I can assist you with the first walkthrough for an hour of whatever you want to learn about or whatever you would like to work on. And you can slowly start to see. Again, the student learner apps and the AI researcher apps are coming out tomorrow. Well, by next Friday, they'll be ready for you guys. And with those AI apps, you can turn around and use those for your students. And therefore, we're bringing not just the student piece, but we're making sure that we brought the professors in first with at least a basic understanding as to what is out there and what the possible functionalities are. One
And
more
for
quick
the-
thing. Yes, I'm sorry,
just
Lucia.
for the purpose of the pilot that we're doing at MSU, it's just the syllabus, the assignment, and the description of our class, right? We don't
Yes.
have to do tests or anything. We can play and see how it goes. But for the research itself, it's just those three things, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay.
will say I found my students, again, there's only three main reasons the students have used it. With the student learner app, which will be out next week, which I'll send to you guys with a nice little video of how to do it, but it's very, very much like the rest of the UI that you guys have seen. That's when I would imagine students are going to start to use because it doesn't really exist. It's not, OpenAI is incredible, as you guys just saw, but it doesn't have the niche functionality that we would want, right? Give me a mind map of this, associate this with this, right? Associate this with this topic. And it doesn't have the content and context of our individual classes, right? So we're really working at using AI in the content and context of each and every professor and your own personality, what you want to provide for your students. Again, so we have a follow-up bot. I don't know, I might have mentioned that's going to be here, follow-up bot. So at the end, starting next week, so probably starting 2 weeks from now for my students, 3 weeks tops, there's a follow-up bot. So at the end of every class, I will have a bot embedded in my course, right? So I'm going to try to go back. So I will have a bot embedded down here, September 3rd, whatever. I'll have a bot embedded saying bot, I don't know, August 28th, maybe, I don't know, August 22nd on my next class. where after I do my lecture, 10 minutes, the students have got to discuss what I discussed in my lecture. Does that make sense? And it will give them a grade, right? And so what I'm telling my students right now is, hey, when the follow-up bot, when I embed this in the course, until you get a B, last 5 minutes of class, when you get a B, let me come see, and then you can walk out, because that's the core content of what I wanted them to get from the course, rather than just come to class, sit there, wait for me to present PowerPoints or information or maybe some discussion. I need to see that you're really there. That's something we have called follow-up bot, which will be out next week for you too. Okay. So going forward, what we have is I'm going to get your names. You're going to get an email with your username and password. You're going to get some videos of basically how to log in and everything else. You can then reply to that email and schedule time with me to walk you through, to log you in, and we can create some bots, or we can walk you through the create assignment or whatever you'd want to create that we have available to you. And then after that, we can go from there. In the meantime, as we keep rolling out these student bots, these student AI bots, you're going to get emails saying, hey, we have this new student bot. Here it is. If you're interested, you can provide this for your student. The exact same way. You just click that little embed piece, you embed it in the piece, and your students will be able to use that embed bot throughout their course, if you so choose. And again, it's anonymous. We have no idea what the student is, no PII information at all. All right. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave you with this right here to let you guys see this. My mic's gonna go out right after this, but I look forward to seeing each and every one of you. But I want you guys to see this really quick here. Others. See you later. Okay.
Thank
All
you, Shane.
right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank you.
You're very welcome.